Colleagues and distinguished guests, it is my honor to welcome His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, to the California State Capitol. As someone who fell in love with the study of philosophy, I am particularly excited to hear from His Holiness, one of the world's great thought leaders, on some of the great questions of our day. How do we increase compassion? How do we advance ethics? How do we achieve peace? How do we work as one world to save the only world we know? In following the journey of the Dalai Lama across America these past few days, I have greatly appreciated many of His Holiness's comments. One was the statement, "Education can help us change our way of thinking." I don't think there is anyone in this room who does not see education as government's top priority. So let us work together to advance education so it can change more ways of thinking. His Holiness has said, "A further hope of source is the genuine cooperation among the world's nations toward a common goal, evident in the Paris Accord on climate changes." Both houses of this legislature have shown national and global leadership on this issue. So let us work together to further spark the cooperation the world needs to see on climate change. Finally, as we are still reeling from last week's horrific violence that we saw in Orlando, His Holiness spoke with the power of silent prayer and offered consolation through a message of compassion and hope for the future.
Respected leaders and brothers, sisters, basically, we are part of the humanity. Each of us actually part of 7 billion human beings. So then, I don't like too much formality. When I enter there, I think even to second something, that I get used that kind of sort of, or say precise or something very serious, the formality. Particularly when I visited Peking, 1954, 55, and then also 56, come to India. See, meeting leaders, there's some kind of formality. Then is it the concerned people, you see, telling us, a few steps, and then you have to stand, and then turn this way or that way. Then we become more nervous. So I always tell or communicate with other people with sort of belief we are same. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. The most important, we are social animal. So we need sense of community. It's very essential. Community here, in the sense, 7 billion human beings, is our real human community. Each of us have to think well-being of 7 billion human beings. So I always try to, try to share our belief. The time come, we need think about global well-being. Our continent, nation, yes, if global level, happy, peace, more compassionate, then each of the continent, each of the country get maximum benefit. So I think we are, I think since we living beings, you see, started on this planet, and particularly human being, you see, comes. Take care oneself. That's very essential for survival. Take care yourself. Now, since we are social animal, the best way take care oneself should take care others. Others, community is basis of our own happy future. So here, for me, not much differences. On this party or that party, no differences. And people who believe this religion, that religion, doesn't matter. Now, some Japanese Buddhist and the Sri Lanka Buddhist, we're also part of the humanity. And some Muslim, some Christian, some, what's it, Jews. We have to think the fundamental level. Then we are same. The different faith, different nationality, different rank, position, these are secondary level. When we start our life, when we're born, same, entire 7 billion human being, same way born, and the same way die. So at the beginning, our life, everybody very much appreciate others' affection, particularly parent, but especially it's a mother's affection. It's the key factor of our survival. Then those people who receive the maximum affection at the time we are young, I think whole life in deep insight, a sense of security or feel happy. Then those people, I think most probably among the religious people, as well as among the politicians, among the members of the house, you see, those people at the young age, you see, receive less affection. And no matter how sort of smart, apparently, in deep insight, some sense of insecurity. So love is key factor. Affection is key factor. Then moreover, scientists, see, of course, over 30 years, I have serious discussion with scientists. So some occasion, the scientists, they say, according their sort of scientific way, investigation, basic human nature is more compassionate. So that's really basis of our hope. If the basic nature of human being is anger, and then no hope. But our basic nature is more compassionate. Therefore, if we make attempt, then we 100% sure we can build this world more happier world, a peaceful world. Peace must be through inner peace. And happiness, not physical comfort, but at the mental level, more calm. That's the real meaning of happy life or joyful life. The mentally, a lot of sort of disturbances. Meantime, the material facility, best sort of material facility, that will not be guarantee for a happy person. I think even beggar or homeless people, surrounded by loving, kind sort of people, they feel happy. Physically, a very poor condition, but mentally surrounded by friend, love. So maybe person who received sort of maximum affection from their surrounding people, who remain in the street, homeless, more happier than those a great business or politician or leader surrounded a little bit sort of suspicion or distance. Now, although the facility, material facility, excellent, but because we are living human being, love is so important. If that's lacking, the material facility will not be guarantee for happy life. So therefore, irrespective whether believer or non-believer, you see, we are human beings. We are part of humanity. Human love, human compassion is key factor. So, you all have this sort of same potential. Please pay some attention about our inner value. And then religious harmony. Here, one Japanese, I think, priest used to start some prayer. Buddham Shanam Gajami, Dhammam Shanam Gajami, Sangham Shanam Gajami. So Buddha means, like any other great teacher, enlightened. Enlightened very much based on infinite love. So people, you see, who believe Creator, you see, the Creator also, you see, the infinite love. So we all created by such infinite love, God. So we are children of that kind of Father. So that gives immense strength to develop determination. I must be kinded person, loving kinded person, because our Father, our Creator, is such infinite sort of loving thing like that. And then people who have not much interest about religion, okay, whether believe in religion or not, it's up to individual. But we are human beings. We need compassionate sort of feeling. Then all other social animals all have biologically some kind of sort of limited altruism there. But because lack of this intelligence, so their altruism very limited and temporary. We have this wonderful brain. We have the ability to extend that loving kindness towards entire humanity and beyond that entire world. In that respect, we also, you see, some connection, the concept of protect of our world, our planet, environment. These automatically come. So my number one commitment is promotion of human love and compassion, irrespective whether believer or non-believer, and within the believer, this believer, that believer. Then second, my commitment is promotion of religious harmony. That's since now a few decades, now more than 5 decades, I spent in India. So in India, you can see different religious believers live together. Occasionally some problems. That's understandable. I usually see telling, over 1 billion populated nation, occasionally some problem should be, because Indians also are the human being. So around 1 billion populated nation, some mischievous people must be there. Otherwise, you see, India, not heaven. So part of the world, some mischievous people must be there. So that's understandable. Overall, I think over 1 billion Indian, the religious harmony I think generally very good. Indian Muslims, wonderful. So it is wrong. We create some kind of impression. Islam is a little bit sort of militant. That is totally wrong. I have number of sort of friends from Muslim community, wonderful people. All major institutions have same potential to create sensible human being or compassionate human being. So India is an example. Over 1,000 years, religious sort of harmony is there. So most sort of populated democratic country, now last, I think 60 years, you see, they maintain religious harmony. So rest of the world also, you see, can have the religious harmony. Then this California, this area, I think looks multi-racial, with that multicultural and multi-religion. That also, I think, some positive potential to create genuine harmony on different races and different religious belief. So I think you have, I think, some potential. So please think more seriously promotion of religious harmony. Then this state already, I think, paying special attention about environment issue. Wonderful, wonderful. So we really need, this planet is only our home. If our home ruined, then there's no other way to go. Or moon. I often was telling people, moon, night, sky, moon, very beautiful. But if we go there, remain there, no hope. So this planet is the only place we can live happily. We can breathe happily. If you go there, oh, terrible. So there's no other choice except fully protect our own home. So the people who really taking care about environment is something very important, very, very necessary. So people here, I think, pay special attention. Wonderful. Thank you. In Karleso. So, sometimes the people easily criticize some sort of, also the influential sort of leader or influential people, whether in the field of business or some other field, including politicians. I feel the generation who come from our sort of existing sort of society, very much materialistic sort of life, materialistic culture. I feel the existing education system very much oriented about material value, not much talking about our inner value. Some scientists, some educationists also have the same view. Now time come in order to create a more healthy society. So education is the key factor. Religion, to some extent, very, very helpful, but cannot cover entire humanity. Now, for example, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. I think among the Californian, what percentage non-believer? there must be some non-believer also, you see, within this state. That's the reality. So therefore, if we entirely depend on religious sort of belief in order to promote this inner value, then it's not adequate. So only through education, when we approach the promotion of human compassion through education, then should be without touching religious belief. So in India, 1,000 years, this is some kind of, they call secular ethics. According to Indian understanding, secular means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. That's, I think, something unique about the Indian understanding about secular. In the West, some my friend, consider secular means disrespect religion and remain distant from religion. That's according to Indian understanding, not like that. Respect all religion. So sometimes I use the secular ethics. In any way, the universally sort of, universal sort of ethics. No religious boundary like that. So that, I think, please, my dear friend, I think pay more attention in education, how to put, education or lesson about inner value, so that entire generation come through such education. Then I think society will be more compassionate society. So then leaders come from that kind of society, I think more compassionate leader, sensible leader. Otherwise, this whole society not talking about this inner value, only money, power. And then the individual come from that kind of society. We can't believe, or we can't blame. Their whole life is to come from that way. So I think now time come. We have to think very seriously about how to educate people. If we make attempt now, perhaps later part of 21st century will be more compassionate humanity. Then genuine peace come. Because you see, genuine peace must come through inner peace. Inside full of anger, then impossible to create a peaceful world. And then in this country, now recent time is talking about gun control. Real gun control must start here. More compassionate sort of feeling, sense of respect for others' life, others' right. That's the real method of gun control. So usually I sort of telling or expressing, in order to achieve genuine peaceful world, we have to think demilitarized world. In order to external disarmament, firstly, inner disarmament is very essential. So long anger, jealousy, see these destructive emotion there, then even sort of some kind of peaceful sort of atmosphere, temporary, not very sort of sound. So peaceful world start from here. So individual, sometimes when we think about the world, a lot of problem, a lot of killing. Even sort of use religious faith to reasoning killing. Unthinkable. So then, sometimes we really feel hopelessness. But then, unless we human beings make some effort, who will take care? There's no other choice. Logically, you see, this problem, we created. So, logically, we have the responsibility to reduce this problem and finally eliminate this problem. So sometimes I describe this century should be century of dialogue. Difference is always there. So whenever we find some sort of different sort of opinion or different interest, that's the source of conflict. Then we must solve that through talk. Respect others' right, others' interest. So some kind of sort of compromise. That's the only way to bring genuine peace. I think in 20th century, our sort of way of thinking is whenever we have some differences, some conflict, we always think how to solve this by force. That way of thinking is outdated. So now in this century, any problem have to solve through talk, meet face to face. Now some of these people who create some sort of problems, so-called terrorists, these also, they finally have to solve through human contact. Remain distance and use force. I don't think the proper sort of solution. That's my belief. So when we look, problem, huge problem, we individual so cannot do much. But then problem which we humanity facing, essentially our own creation. So humanity means individual combination. That is humanity. So any initiative must come from individual like us. Think more seriously. And firstly, you see, create peaceful atmosphere, compassionate atmosphere within your own family. Then from one family, 10 families. From 10 families, 100 families. That's the way to change. So please think, each individual, yes, you all have potential. Make some contribution for a better world, happier humanity, step by step. So that's I want to tell you. So I consider you same human being. So whether I'm talking in India or Europe or America, more or less it's the same topic because the audience are same human being. If you are something different human being, then I have to talk different way. Thank you very much.